Someone just sent us a house that might actually be Peppa's. Not similar to Peppa's, not in the same general category as Peppa's, the same house. And then someone else sent another one, and then 12 more people sent 12 more houses. And now we have a problem because there are apparently hundreds of buildings scattered across the planet that all have a legitimate claim to being the real Peppa Pig house. We investigated all of them. Here is our verdict. First, what we know about the real house. Before we start judging candidates, we need to establish the criteria. What actually makes something Peppa's house? 1. It has to be on a hill. Not a gentle slope, not a raised garden, a dramatic, near-vertical, comedy-sized hill that makes no architectural sense as a place to build a home. This is non-negotiable. Every house in Peppatown sits on a hill so steep it should require planning permission just to look at it. 2. It has to be isolated. Peppa's house has no neighbors, no shared walls, no adjacent gardens, no street. Just the house, the hill, and the view of other houses on other equally absurd hills in the middle distance. 3. The proportions. Yellow walls, red roof, that specific triangular simplicity that suggests someone handed a 5-year-old a crayon and said draw a house and then called an architect. 4. The location has to be slightly unreasonable, not completely impossible, just unreasonable enough that you look at it and think, why there? With those criteria established, let's go through the candidates. Candidate 1, Fanøbjerg Church, Denmark. If you missed the original viral moment, here is the catch-up. In 2023, someone found Fanøbjerg Church in Denmark and the internet briefly lost its mind. Nearly 900 years old. Red roof, triangle shape, completely alone on a hill in a way that looks less like ecclesiastical architecture and more like the Peppa Pig animators were working from a reference photo. The match is genuinely striking. The isolation is there. The hill is there. The proportions work. The red roof is there. From certain angles, this is not a similar building. This is Peppa's house wearing a crucifix. It went viral because it deserved to go viral. But here is the problem the internet mostly ignored. It is a church. Peppa's family are pigs who jump in muddy puddles and watch potato TV. They are not holding services in there. The interior does not work, which is why we are still looking. Verdict: the best candidate we have seen. Still, technically a church. Ruling: 9 out of 10, the hill alone earns it. Candidate 2, the Yellow Terrace House. Yellow walls, red roof, 0 hill. Surrounded on both sides by other houses in the way that houses in a normal town are surrounded by other houses, because that is what towns are. Someone sent this in genuinely convinced. The colors match, they said. The colors match. Peppa's house is not defined by its colors. It is defined by its complete rejection of the concept of neighbors. This house has neighbors so close they could borrow sugar through the window. This is a perfectly nice cottage that happens to be yellow. It is not Peppa's house. It is not Peppa's house's distant cousin. It is a coincidence of paint choices. Verdict: no. Respectfully, no hill, rejected immediately. Candidate 3, the Hill House with Company. Now we are getting somewhere. This one is on a hill. The colors are close. The roof shape is in the right postcode. But look at the background. There are other houses on the same hill. Multiple houses. A whole hillside community of houses that someone decided should all be on a hill together. Peppa's Hill is private. Peppa's Hill belongs to one family and one family only. The hill is not a shared resource. This house is on a communal hill, and that disqualifies it from serious consideration. If you squint, you can feel the energy. But squinting is not a verification method. Not on this channel. Verdict: good effort. Hill shared. Ruling: 4 out of 10. Loses points for the neighbors. Candidate 4, the correct size house on the wrong hill. This one is genuinely close in the right ways. Isolated. Correct colors. The hill is doing what a Peppa Hill should do. The problem is the house itself. It is too large. This looks like the upgraded Peppa house from the newer seasons. The one that arrived in season 11 with no explanation about where the money came from. If Daddy Pig quietly got a second job or sold the rights to his big tummy…
Hey, what?
Maybe this is the post-promotion house. As a match for the original small house on the original dramatic hill, too fancy. As a match for current season Peppa with baby Evie and a garage, Honestly, not bad. Verdict, wrong era. Still a contender for the reboot version. Ruling, 6 out of 10. Candidate 5, The Mountain House. Here it is, the one. Isolated. Check. Red roof. Check. Yellow walls. Check. On a hill. Check. Except the word hill is doing enormous amounts of work here because this is not a hill. This is a geological event. This is a mountain that happened to have a flat bit near the top where someone said, "This seems like the right place to build a home," and nobody around them said anything because there was nobody around them for miles. If Peppa lived here, she would not be jumping in muddy puddles. She would be filing a flight plan before going to the bottom of the garden. The drop from the front door to the nearest flat surface is the kind of thing that changes a person's relationship with gravity. This is more Peppa than Peppa. The original show drew the hill big for comedy effect, exaggerated, impractical, funnier than a real hill would be. This mountain did not need exaggerating. It arrived already exaggerated. Verdict, winner. Not technically Peppa's house. More Peppa than Peppa's house. Ruling, 11 out of 10. The category has been transcended. Now, what else is the show hiding? The houses got us looking. The looking found something bigger. Because it turns out Peppa Pig has not just been referencing random cottages for 20 years, it has been lifting entire buildings from the real world and dropping them into Peppa Town, sometimes accurately and sometimes with complete geographic disregard. The British Museum, accurate building, impossible location. Pull up any episode where Peppa's class visits the museum. Then pull up a photograph of the British Museum in London. The columns, the triangular roof, the yellow stone facade. This is not inspiration. This is a traced building, and the accuracy goes inside. In the episode, Peppa's class visits 2 main areas: a royal artifacts room with thrones and crowns and ceremonial objects, and a room with a massive dinosaur skeleton that George responds to in the only way George responds to dinosaurs.
Dinosaur.
Lights shake, children scream. The British Museum had exactly this layout. Royal artifacts in one gallery. Natural history specimens, including bones, in another. The animators did not just copy the architecture, they researched the contents and replicated the floor plan. That is a level of commitment that deserves acknowledgement. Then, they stuck it on a hill so steep the entire collection would need to be airlifted in. The British Museum houses the Rosetta Stone, the Elgin marbles, and Egyptian mummies that weigh several tons. You cannot get those up Peppa's Museum Hill in a removal van. You cannot get those up that hill on a good day with professional equipment. Miss Rabbit's helicopter is the only plausible logistics solution, and she has other jobs. Portobello Road, the one they actually got right. The shopping plaza in Peppa Town, colorful terraced buildings, each a different shade, shops pressed together in a row, brick facades, Victorian streetscape with character. This is Portobello Road in Notting Hill, London. One of the most photographed streets in Britain, copied and placed into Peppa Town with the kind of accuracy the museum deserved. And critically, it is flat. No hill, normal street. Buildings connecting to each other on level ground like architecture in a functioning town. This proves the animators understand how streets work. They can draw flat. They chose to draw hills everywhere else. This makes the hills a creative decision, not a technical limitation. The animators looked at Peppa Town and thought, hills, for everything. Except when we need a shopping street. The London episode. Right landmarks, wrong London. The London episode gets the landmarks right. Tower Bridge looks like Tower Bridge. Big Ben looks like Big Ben. Buckingham Palace, the Gherkin, St. Paul's, King's Cross. All correct, all recognizable, all placed into the episode with genuine attention to what these buildings actually look like. Then the geography starts making its own decisions. Westminster Bridge runs the wrong direction. The bus heads to Balham on a route that does not go to Balham. The wrong flag flies over Buckingham Palace, the Union flag, not the royal standard that should be flying when the Queen is home. And the Queen is home. The Queen is inside the palace in this episode and then immediately jumps Tower Bridge in a bus full of nursery-age children while the bridge is opening. This would create a constitutional crisis in the real United Kingdom. In Peppa Town, it is a Tuesday. The jumping is actually based on a real event. In 1952, a bus driver named Albert Gunter did jump Tower Bridge in a number 78 double-decker when the bridge opened unexpectedly. So the Peppa Pig writers found a real historical incident of vehicular bridge chaos and gave it to the Queen. Historically accurate recklessness. That is a compliment. So, Peppa's house exists in Denmark as a church, in multiple countries as various hills with various sized homes on top of them, and most completely on an unnamed mountain somewhere that needs its own postcode. The show has been hiding real buildings this entire time, sometimes with extraordinary accuracy, sometimes with the geographical sensibility of someone who has never visited the places they are drawing, and occasionally with the Queen, committing traffic violations on one of London's most famous landmarks. Which candidate do you think is the real Peppa House? The Danish church? The mountain? Something else we have not found yet? Drop it in the comments. We are reading all of them.